Hey Anners, and welcome to the Vortex version of the Devourment tutorial install. Now look, I'm not being lazy here. I'm going to reuse a lot of the footage from the Mod Organizer 2 install because they are virtually the same, but trust me, this will get it working for Vortex. So stick with me and we'll both get it working together. Okay? Enjoy. Hello Hatters, quite the title, huh? But it's best to be exact with these kinds of things. Still pretty sick Nora here, pulling herself together just enough to get this out here. Welcome to Devourment AE 1.6, the install guide that is meant for Vortex. There will be a separate version made for Mod Organizer 2, or MO2, and I'm pretty sure I'll upload the two at the exact same time just to cover both ends. Let's get the disclaimers out of the way and we can dive right into the mods. This is an adult mod that requires accessing adult sites. If you're below the age of 18, go do something else. This install guide assumes you are using a freshly downloaded and legit version of Skyrim from Steam. Let's be real, if it's a Yarhar version, you're on your own. Just too many things can go wrong. I'm only covering the basic install. I won't be covering any add-ons or how to get custom modded outfits converted to work with Bodyslide. Believe me, if it was easy, I would have done it. But the custom content and custom modding the outfits, that can balloon wildly out of control in complexity, difficulty, and how much time you need to figure it out. So if it was easy, I would have done it already, but it's not, so for the sake of everyone's time, I'm going to avoid it. Number 4, join the Devourment Discord U. That's where you can very politely ask for support if something goes wrong, and where modded converted outfits and add-ons can be found, as well as any Devourment update news. Also, don't forget to join my Discord. I always put the links in the description. Speaking of video description, number 5. Check it right now. The video description. It's going to have a non-paywalled link to my Patreon where there will be a list of every single mod you would need to get this downloaded and get it working. I highly recommend you copy and paste that entire list into Notepad++ or any kind of Word document like that, and as you download a mod piece by piece, you check it off the list.
Empire loves their damn lists.
Like Santa Claus, just double check, triple check that list. If you miss even a single mod, this whole thing could come undone. It'll save you a massive headache and massive confusion. Number 6, this is quite a tricky install, and I mean that. Not really, but there's a lot that can kind of go wrong. That's why I'm making this video, to help you out. If you're a total novice or new guy to modding, it can be quite tricky. So pay close attention. I designed this to be as easy as possible to follow. If you're confident in your modding skills, by all means go right on ahead and dive in. If it works, congrats, good job. If it doesn't, swallow your pride, nuke that install, start fresh again and try again. It is way faster than the random amount of time you could spend trying to figure it out piece by piece. Are we clear? Good. Ready to rock and roll? Great. So, let's start with Vortex. Okay, step 1 in this grand parade of starting from absolute nothing is we need to download the Vortex mod manager from Nexus Mods. As I said before, there will be a link in the description to all of this, or you can just search this one up by itself. Make sure you're logged in and literally just click download for Windows. I know it seems dead simple, but we're starting from absolute zero here, just to make sure we can, within a shadow of a doubt, get this working for you. So get that downloaded and get it installed. Oh no. Now you know I've been looking at Five Nights at Freddy's. Well, yeah, how about that? You caught me red-handed. I'm horrible, how terrible. Right, okay. 6th time's the charm. We'll get it this time. Before we even go and install Precious Vortex, let's quickly head into Steam. Make sure Skyrim is, of course. We're going to need to make sure it's installed on the same drive, C drive, that we're going to install Vortex on. C drive, for me, it can be any number of you. Just make sure it's on the same letter drive. And then just for fun's sake, let's just run it once. So that does the video detecting hardware thing. Ultra quality because I have a good NVIDIA graphics card. That's all we need to do from Steam. We're going to minimize this, close that, and then we're going to install Vortex. If I sound miffed, it's because I've done this 6 times now. So install it to the C drive, same as before. It uses some file management archive thing that cries and spits out a 10 megabyte log file. If you try and install, say, Vortex on the C drive and Skyrim on the E drive. Run Vortex. Now, true to its name, it's probably going to throw up an error the minute I launch it here. Let's see if... Ah, my god, are you kidding me? You're freshly installed. Come on, man. What could possibly go wrong? Okay. Yeah, no, you don't say so. That's wonderful. I got you in 4K. Right. Click onto games or click the plus R here. Type Skyrim. And then click manage. Come on, man. Like, Okay. We have Vortex installed. We have Skyrim installed. Both are on the C drive. Now comes the fun part of downloading those 36 mods. You go do that part now, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, cool. Ta-da! I had all the mods ready to go. These are the 36 mods we need to install, including where are you? Script extender. From what I've learned, and I look forward to seeing, apparently you can just click and drag and drop that, and it'll install the script extender without needing to do any manual install malarkey. So, I'm just going to click and drag here from the bottom, select every single one of these. You can do that any way you want. Just grab those 36 mods and drag them into this little box here when you're on the Skyrim mode and all that good stuff. Now, this tends to crash my recording software for some bizarre reason. You don't need to worry about this. You drag and drop those mods. I'm just going to open up my side panel here and observe that. Drag and drop those mods and let's get this party started. A lot of these will work fine on default settings, so just follow what I do, and if you want to, you can experiment with the settings yourself, but things could go wrong. It might require an extra mod, so I just say stick with default, and once it's all working, you can experiment with this in your own time. Bodyslide preset reader. Why is it not saying this is from Gaztech? The developer Devourment. Click finish here. A lot of these, as I said, are just default ones. Physics with collisions. We're on Skyrim Special Edition, which is also known as Skyrim Anniversary Edition 1.6. Yeah, so how's that for fun and confusion? Honestly, just click through these. There's an image I'm probably gonna have to censor. Okay, now for the feminine Argonian textures. I love the colourful chameleon. That's my default Argonian look to me. Spell perk, we're on Anniversary Edition 1.6 and not 1.5. MCM Helper, Skyrim Special Edition, we're not using VR. Maximum Skeleton, just click all the way through all of this. If you're advanced modern, you know what you're doing, you can look through those, but literally just keep them default for the best results. CBPE, 3BA. We're probably gonna have to, yeah, this is the one. An image. Yeah, there's the image. Okay, goodbye. Carlotta's beautiful body, so beautiful indeed, as always. Keep it default, it's fine. Devourment refactor. The important mod, the one we're all here for. Thank you, Gaz, Lacrosse, Baka, Cold Steel, Rocks, Yuri the Shark, Kendry, Galmar 1330, Redman the Hungry Fox, Forgetful. Oh, hello me. Okay, that was rude. You just decided to stop recording. I was in the middle of monologuing, you know. Bleh. Skyrim Devourment LE. Before I moved over to Devourment Refactor, I made some dialogue, and I learned that a lot of other people's Devourment mods nicked mine without giving credit. Now, I hold no bad blood about that. I think that's pretty cool. It would have just been nice to know. And anyway, my dialogue mod wound up with Devourment Refactor, and I nervously approached the dev at the time, asked for credit, and then they were like, cool, sure. And then they offered a handout to pull me in because they knew me and knew I was pretty cool. So that's why I still make these tutorial videos, as a way of thanking them, because they literally could have just flipped the bird at me and told me to go fornicate myself, and then that would have been that. So I like doing this as a way of thanking them. If you ever speak to an innkeeper or a farmer, the chances are you've seen my dialogue. Yeah, let's keep moving. Gherkin, he has made his own dialogue mod, and it is fantastic and looks great. I really do need to try it sometime, because I remember there was some dialogue when you pray, and then they're just like, oh come on, I just reformed. Haha, spawn camped. Kakame? Sorry if I get that wrong. Although I will admit your name reminds me of the Kakademon from Doom, the big flying red eyeball. Genki. Art human director. The logo. And then vegan. That's a spicy one. Because the vegan was the whole no male pred thing, but look, as controversial as it all was, if it wasn't for him, none of this probably would exist. So, thanks vegan. And then be kind to small animal, to cats and tiny humans. They're doing their best. Yes, we are. So whilst that's going along, any other mod pops up, we'll go through it here. But that looks like it's the vast majority of them. If anything looks like it's stuck reinstalling, we're just going to right click it and hit reinstall. It should give it the kick it needs. It's the feminine Khajiit textures. It probably won't be for you. The grey cat. The grey cat is my option. You can go for leopard if you want, but I prefer grey cat. Okay, so that should be everything installed and deployed. Nice. Since they're both on the same drive, all this should work. Now, let's figure out the whole unresolved file conflicts, of which there are going to be many. Let's just do use suggested. Use suggested, save, close, bring it back up again, a lot less this time. Show, it's just these ones with the question marks. So, himbo is the mesh body, so that should come before the textures, which is the new gentleman. Same with CBB3BA, I'm sure there won't be that much of a difference. Let's just load that from before, hit save, and then that'll take care of that. Okay, feminine cat is not enabled, we'll just enable that. Scroll down, scroll up, everything's looking green across the board. Himbo contains multiple plugins. Show all. Yeah, they're fine. Enable all. In fact, let's go to plugins. Delete everything here. Okay, enable. There are unresolved file conflicts. Carlotta's bodies. Oh, this is an important one here. We're gonna load this before. Carlotta's beautiful bodies does have a Khajiit texture that is different, and if it overrides the feminine one, it doesn't look as good. It is a Khajiit fur texture for the body, but it doesn't look nearly as good as the feminine Khajiit. So yeah, make sure that feminine Khajiit loads after the Carlotta's, and then Carlotta's loads before, like this. It's not going to cause the game to crash, but it'll make Khajiit look slightly worse. So that's the 36 mods installed. What we need to do next then is the Bodyslide Fnis step, and then we can get launching and testing. Okay, that was a lot of spaghetti junction. Well, we should be getting closer here. Click into tools. These probably will look like this, but just pin that, and pin that. These other three, you don't need to worry about that. Creation kit makes mods. It's advanced, so I wouldn't go in there unless you know what you're doing. Wire bash lets you combine mods, if I remember correctly, to reduce the overall plugin limit. I've never reached the plugin limit, so I wouldn't worry about that. SKSE, it's like a surgical tool for Skyrim mods in text format. but we're not worrying about any of these. These are the last 3 steps before we launch Skyrim. So let's start with the body slide. Just click this one here, and then if this pops up here, you want to make sure it's this one here. Choose game. Now, pay attention to this section because it's quite convoluted. So, pay attention and we'll get this working right. You want to click this little magnifying glass here, and you want to click this one here, DB, CBB, female trivia morphs. Click OK. And then you want to click out for body, just anything on this list. For the purposes of avoiding having to censor something, I'm going to click for body 1, and then we're going to click preview, so a clothed body appears and not a big old nudie one. Preset, pick whatever you want. I like going for chubby because character development. And then you want to click build morphs, and then this box, and then batch build, and then a build. And this will take a moment. Okay, so that's the female ones out of the way. The next step then is to click choose groups. And look, if you're not into male Vor, you can skip this section. There's a way to disable it in the menus, but I'm still going to do this anyway. Male Preds, while it might not be my thing, I still want to do it just for them. Because, yeah, they kind of get a bad rep. I don't know the ins and outs. I like to assume it's because women can get a pregnant belly, so a Vor belly seems more natural compared to a guy getting it. There's millions of different ins and outs. The names here are all funny because I don't know what they mean. They're just different body types. I found Mike to be fairly reasonable. It's strong in the arms, whereas like Jack is like chunker. So look, you can experiment with those in your own time. And you don't even need to do this if you don't want to. I'm just doing it to cover it for those guys. Okay, and with that, that's the male Pred belly. Now, final step here is do this and do female. Devourment female here. I've heard from some reports on my own testing that sometimes... Oh, I better close this because otherwise a naked body's going to come up and I'm going to need to censor that. So we'll just bypass that step entirely. Click the drop down, click 3BA V2. From my own testing and from other people's reports, sometimes the Vor belly just won't appear on the female model when you take your armor off, and this is just a way of getting it to appear. So 3BA2 V2 CBB curvy, and then just build. That's all you need to do for the body slide step. Okay, you can experiment with this in your own time. I just recommend doing the bare minimum. I'm running far away from body slide because it confuses the hell out of me. So, congrats. That's the body slide steps out of the way. The next one then is very easy. Click this one here for Fnis. Now, I know there's the... whatchamacallit. There's the Nemesis and there's the Pandora. Fnis still works fine for me, so I'm sticking with that. Pop it up here, click Skeleton Arm Fix, and then just click Update Fnis Behavior. That's all we need to do. Now, this is going to take a moment. It might look like it's frozen, it might not. Just let it run its bit, just let it run its piece, and it'll tell you when it's done. So, close that, and that should absolutely be everything. Okay, we're going to tack this on here at the edge because I completely forgot it, and I've done this tutorial many times, and I want to just get this done at this point. Say you want the creatures to have the Vor bellies. You have to install Fnis creature add-on. There will be a link in that description. I'm not going to count it towards the total because then I'd have to redo the entire tutorial. Install Fnis creatures into Mod Organizer or Vortex. Pop up Fnis and you'll see then the option for creatures has appeared. You literally just click Update Fnis Behavior. That takes care of that. And then just to cover all areas, you want to boot up Bodyslide, check Devourment creatures, like that. Select anything on this list. Look, here's a horse. Nay. And then make sure that that does that. And then literally just batch build on 0 sliders. And then that's that part done. The presets are going to be empty, so it doesn't matter what's there. Outfit body doesn't matter, just as long as all the sliders are 0. That'll take care of that. That'll give the creatures vorbellies. Ready to go? The final step then is literally just clicking play here. So we're going to click this, give it a test, and see how it goes. Welcome to the final step. If you manage to make it to the main menu screen, congrats. That's a really good sign. If it crashed before you got here, you might be missing something. Double check those mods, double check the plugins, check everything before you go trying to troubleshoot it. A lot of the time it's because you missed a foundational mod or 2 or 3 or 4. If you're missing even one, the whole thing can come undone. So we'll start up a new game and then get into the final part where I tell you all about the mod. Okay? Congrats, we're nearly done. Oh, just very quickly, if you launch in and your screen doesn't look like this with all the sliders, go into Vortex and just right click, Race Menu Anniversary Edition and reinstall, and then it should appear like this. Okay, it's just something that popped up in my testing. I want to cover all the areas. Okay, let's get on with the end game. Okay, well, hello there, handsome. You are a fancy looking specimen with that nice smooth skin and higher detail body. Unfortunately, we're gonna go with a female cat girl. Yeah. Hello, good sir. Hello, good lady. Oh, yeah, I guess I'll also show you this as well. Say you make 1,000,000 and so edits. I infinitely recommend you go to presets and save your character. Also hungry cat. Hungry old kitty cat. We've done this 10 times, and I'm hoping this is the one. Big old hungry kitty cat. The reason I recommend saving your preset is I remember there was a guy that spent a good 30 minutes working on his character in Devourment voice chat before he finished and named his character Big Old Hungry Kitty Cat. I told him go back and save the preset before you proceed. He did so, he accepted, and then the flipping game crashed. Now if he didn't save that preset, he would have lost all of that progress on that character. Now I know it's a brand new character, but he was working fire on whatchamacallit, tattoos and all that. So we have our character in game. Let's jiggle like a VTuber. Let's go through some of the main menu stuff. So I just recommend making a quick save now. I know we just made it, but just screw it. Give it a shot there. Okay, welcome to the end game. The mod should most certainly be fully functional at this point, but let's just go through a few things. Let's just do the good stuff here. Let's spawn ourselves a target. Part. Open up the console. It is the grave key, which is at the top left of your keyboard, next to the left of the number 1, above the tab option. That should be enabled by default. If it's not, I don't know, do some Google searches, some results should come up, you should be able to find a fix, but by default this is enabled. So you want to type player.place, oops, butterfingers, place at me 7-1. This is going to spawn a copy of the player. Now the copy of the player is like the default NPC version of the player. They're going to be clad in the default iron set, which is going to make our character's ears disappear. Don't worry about it. It's just because she's wearing a helmet and I am not. So, we have selected Endo. The way Endo goes by default in this game is, it's the type of vor where you're not going to hurt them if you try and swallow them. You can convince them in a little bit. This is more for testing purposes, so don't worry about this. I will go into it in a moment. But I need to go to Endo vor settings and hit Endo anyone. By default, you can only Endo people who are good friends with you, because they trust you're not just going to immediately eat them and digest them. With that ticked, it means we can Endo anyone. They just trust us, I guess. So, go into magic, click endo and press Z, the shout key. And hey, look at that! We get ourselves a nice big boar belly. Now, of course, her ears are still invisible. That's just because she's wearing an iron helmet inside her belly. So now I just want to make sure that the belly appears when we remove that. Yeah, look at that. And now put that back on. People that get this mod working can enjoy that part later. So, let's go through the settings. Hey look, our ears are back. Yeah, it's because we took her outfit off and on. It gave the appearance, I don't know, some protocols and a chance to reinitialize, blah blah blah. Just gave the kick it needed. Now, let's go over the menu settings, mod configuration. There's a lot, so what I say in general is, just leave them as defaults. If you start messing with them, anything can happen. So we basically have two to go through here. Devourment and then winter weight. Winter weight is the weight gain mod. It is a separate weight slider that this mod adds, so your character basically gets a type of character progression as you eat people. Yeah, it's a separate weight slider, so it's different. Now, let's begin with Devourment, and we have all these fun menus to dig through. Stats and perks. Check to make sure we're still recording, because a few times this stopped recording and I was talking to myself like the absolute madcap I am. So, stats and perks, as its name suggests, it gives you lots of numbers if you like all that stuff. In general, you eat people, they're gonna lose health. You get eaten, you're gonna lose health. As you eat people, your spread skill goes up. As you struggle and break free of people, your prey skill also goes up. One helps you gurgle, one helps you not gurgle. We have the prey pred tree here. Now it's quite basic, but you basically click this and then X out the menu, and it pulls up a simple enough menu. As you level up your Vor perk, Vor kind of skills, more options will come available here. When you do level up, you'll see it. The same with the prey. It basically just makes it so it's more easier for you to escape. You can do more damage because struggling inside someone actually hurts them, and all that kind of good stuff. These are kind of endgame perks. By the time you get these, I'll say you'd be very comfortable with the game. You have this option here if you have vomiting or releasing prey. If you have them disabled, instead items that you would have spit up or released will be added to your inventory somehow. Don't question it. You have stats. You have stats. Oh, you have lots of stats. Lots and lots and lots of stats. There's some missing there, but they're missing for a good reason. Let's move on. General settings. Now, I recommend setting the prey dialogue key to G by default, because the old school Devourment for Legendary Edition Skyrim had a basically, I'll show you here. Except all this, you press the letter G on your keyboard, and you'll speak to the prey that's inside there. You have all these options you can explore in your own time. And it works vice versa. If a pred swallowed you willingly or unwillingly, you can beg for your life, or you can chat to them depending on the situation. Obviously, if you're being digested, it's begging. If you're not, you can request things, and vice versa. Like if you're digesting them, you have access to kind of flavorful, cruel dialogue. Whereas when it's endo, as you've seen there, you get those options. So yeah, that's what I think. That's what that one does. I don't really recommend pressing any of these other ones here. From what I hear, you can set a separate Vor key, so instead of using the spell, you can use the button. But I heard you can button mash it to try many more times than you normally would. It's up to you. Look, I'm not going to tell you what to do. You have your options here. I would recommend keeping this one off here, because it can easily accidentally cause an essential NPC to be digested, and you can fail the main quest. Like, a random wolf could just somehow get lucky, and then boom, Skyrim's doomed. Unless you're into that. The thread of prophecy has been severed. reload an old save, or continue in the Doom world. Any Morrowind fans? You have this option here if you don't want to be digested, but you know, it's up to you. Difficulty preset, I say leave this exactly the way it is. Don't touch any of it. It can cause massive balancing issues. This is about the only one I recommend touching, and that just basically means how quickly your belly will shrink. If you want to immediately go and eat an entire village, there's the option right there. You can have the old school version where it's only one person at a time, but then you have the options here where it's like based on your skill. Because based on your skill, you'll eventually be able to eat things far bigger than you. Mammoths, dragons, dwarven centurions. Two other options here I kind of recommend. Swallow heal, I recommend keeping that off. You want to weaken prey through fighting before you eat them. With this turned on, when someone gets eaten, they get all their health back. Now, it'll affect you as well, but essentially you'll be having to try to get all their health down, and it's never really easy, especially if they're a boss. You don't want to get the boss all the way down, nom them, and then they get all their health back, and then they like immediately end your existence with a few punches from inside. Prey stripping. When you eat people, their chest plate is removed. You tend to like burp that up alongside them if they escape. It's up to you. Like, a lot of this is like preference. Moving on. Blacklist, whitelist. I'm not too sure. I would just say, if you have a preference, figure this part out. I don't. I'm up for whatever's there. NPC predators. This is where you can kind of set it to where, what creatures do you want? Do you want men or women, female predator toggles? Do you want to turn it off and honor vegan because vegan doesn't like male preds? Do you have a certain creature that's bullying you way too much? Are you being eaten by rabbits? Are tiny little rabbits bullying you? There's the option. You have your chances there, and you have a player bias system. Essentially, do you want NPC predators not to eat you, or do you want NPC predators to only eat you? Now, they're not going to go out of their way. It's basically just based on a proximity system. They'll make the attempt, it'll run all the dice rolls, and then if you're eaten, you're eaten. Again, you can explore all these in your own time. They're all pretty self-explanatory. I just want to go through the menus. Disposal and regurgitation. So basically, once you're fully done digesting someone and they're completely gone, what happens next? By default, NPCs, so like human characters like my character here, they'll be turned into bones. Based on their race, they will have a unique skeleton. So a Khajiit that gets eaten and kind of released as a skeleton, they'll have their tail and they'll have a separate specific skull type. You can change it to a big old pile, you can change it to you vomit up the remains, like I think they're called scrags from Borderlands. They vomit up what they can't digest, and you normally find those piles everywhere. Or absorb, where the belly literally just shrinks to nothing. Classic Vor. Items. It's more a case of, I think if it's, yeah, like creatures here as well. It's, you know, just experiment these in your own time, but they basically all do pretty good in default. The OG Devourment had it where when you crouch down, if you were ready to release something, it would happen. I like keeping that on. It's on by default. Skulls and reformation. This is a fairly important one, so pay a bit of attention. By default, any unique NPCs you eat, so these are like, you know, story NPCs or town NPCs that have a unique name, you'll get their skull when you digest them. You can turn this one here on, and you'll collect everyone's skull. So basically, like a bandit, you'll just collect their skull. The reformation, if you drop their skull as an item on the ground. So, I don't know. Do we have anything in here? We'll just drop our shoes. So you'll drop the skull like this, and then you'll cast the Vor spell on it. And then you basically eat the skull. And it's pretty cool. I'll let you explore it in your own time, but the belly basically then starts to expand out and grow until they basically come back to life. Reformation. As long as you have their skull, you can bring them back to life. It is quite interesting, I have to admit. Or, you know, skulls for the skull throne. You can certainly do that. And then, of course, you have options like this here. Just, you know, in your own time you can explore it. And yes, if you collect a dragon skull, a whole heckin' dragon skull, and you stick it inside your belly, you will, I don't know, burp up an entire dragon, full size and all. Endovore, as I said before, the way this one works is this is off by default, so you need to be friends with someone to endo them. If you turn it on, yeah, you can basically endo anyone. Random noms. That's one where I believe by default you can ask a friend to randomly eat you, and yeah, that's a bit of fun. Visual and sound, there you go, there's all the options. When an NPC prey dies, they let out this scream. If you're not a fan of that, you can just tick that and change it into more of a loud gurgle. You have a vanilla weight gain slider here. It all kind of explains itself. Pre-felled predator chance, by the way, is how an NPC, a generic one, will sometimes spawn with a belly. It's just cosmetic, so you're not gonna like heroically free someone in a tight spot. And then yeah, you have the option of burping up items. It is quite funny. You eat someone, your character burps, and then a helmet just kind of pops out of your mouth. It's kind of fun like that. So there's your option if you're the kind of predator that likes when you burp up close, or if you do want to turn it off. Morph settings. I do not recommend touching any of this. This is like a finely tuned clock. Touch it at your own peril. It's basically just the way this belly kind of gurgles and moves around. If you tweak the settings, you can change it. I just recommend not going near it. Race weights. In the past, you had to manually define this. Essentially, it's what each race represents. So, a chicken isn't going to take up in your belly as much space as the giant that the companions outside Whiterun attack, and so on. You have a dark elf race. All the human races playable are all 100. Everything above is going to need more belly capacity to swallow. Anything smaller, you get how it goes. Dragon, you need 1,000, and so on. You know, you can tweak these if you want. Be my guest. Go do whatever you want. Debugging. You probably shouldn't need to go here at all. But, you know, read the things here and see what you want to do. If you've made a million tweaks and you want to save those settings, there's the option to save it onto a single kind of file, and then there's the option to load it. So if you like the settings on one save and then want another one, that's how you do it. You have the options here. Unrestricted mode lets you eat parts of the environment, so you can eat the entire room and fall endlessly into the void. Have fun with that one. You have all these options here of adding skill, setting it to 100, or just adding some more. Flush vomit queue, that's if for some reason prey or predators get stuck. I've never seen it. In the old Devourment it happened fairly often, but it happened reliably enough that you'd never have an issue. NPCs would just drop right from you, and yeah, that would fix itself, but it never really had an issue. And you have these other ones here. You really don't need to go here unless there's something really wrong with your Skyrim, but I would suspect that if you get to a point where this is bugging out, your Skyrim has bigger problems than just this mod. Typically script save bloat, or just too many script mods going at once, that kind of stuff. Dependencies. Well, if you followed my tutorial, this should all look the exact same as yours. If it doesn't somehow, I don't know, just reinstall everything again. You shouldn't have to look at this screen, and there shouldn't be any errors that pop up on screen. So, that is Devourment taken care of. Look at that happy kitty. I imagine she'd be purring. We still, however, have Winterweight to go for. So, before we do Winterweight, I recommend saving. just because this can go a little, well, in the past I remember it was an older version. It can sometimes make a weirdness to your character's skin. So, this is the weight gain mod. By default, it's disabled, so just click this and then X out the menu. What I wanted to check there for was, in the past when I enabled that mod, it has been fixed. Your character's arms would get a weird skin tone. And yeah, that's why I said do the safety save just in case. Winter weight, as we know it's going to happen here. As you eat food, as you eat ingredients, as you drink, and vampire stuff and potions and all this, and of course eat people vor, you will gain a weight over time. You'll also lose weight over time, weight loss amount, weight loss rate, and a maximum weight. Now it's set to 2 for a reason, but if you want to set that to above 10, by all means go ahead, but you know, you'll quickly see why it's only set to 2. Your character base just balloons up way too big, and it's not good looking at all. I know it sounds good, but it's not. You quickly see the polygon count. So yeah, there's settings for all your body parts. Essentially, as your character gains weight, their arms kind of lean out a little bit further to adjust with the weight gain, so your arms don't just kind of clip into themselves when you have a really big belly. You have other options here as well to check. If you drop food for your companions, you can turn that on so they'll eat it. Options to adjust tail. This section here, normal map swaps, I don't recommend touching any of that. It's like a very perfectly made clock. So, just to even show it off really quickly, you can do a debug, and this is just temporary. You set it up to 2. So we'll just do that here just as a fun laugh. Exit the menu, and then boom. Yes. Character development. You see the way the arms are slightly wider out now to accommodate her bigger body. Now that's only temporary. If you want to gain this fabulous character progression, you're going to have to do a lot of eating of people and food and ingredients and all that stuff. That's basically what winter weight does. You can tweak the settings in your own time. I really don't recommend it because, I mean, just look at all this. There's so much, and it's the same for like males. I'm not too sure if there is an option for males or creatures. I think it's female only focused, so yeah, have fun with that. That's basically it. Yeah, so that's Devourment and winter weight fully explained. Are you gonna lose that weight or what? And yeah, that's basically everything there. If you have any issues with the mod, just let me know and I'll try and help out. I made this guide as a way of basically throwing the video at people, so I don't have to try and help 10 people one at a time. I can kind of just go, here's the video, try to do a fresh reinstall. I'm not being bad, but there's 10 years and there's only one of me. But yeah, thank you very much for your patience, and look, I know it was a long-winded video. I wanted to cover every area as much as I could to make this as future-proof as possible. If I wanted to summarize it in one word, I'd be like, here's the mod, here's the list, download, install, there you go, have fun. But no, this is for total novices, and maybe people that like the sound of my voice. So to finish out, I'm just going to press G, and sorry, but I think I'm going to digest you now. Oh, I was hoping you would say that. And what that dialogue basically triggers then is a willing digestion where they're not going to struggle. If it was anything else, they'd be like, oh, you'll pay for this treachery, and then the blue bar would appear next to the red bar representing their struggles. And if it basically gets full, they basically break out. While they struggle, you lose a bit of health, but you kind of gain it as you digest them, so it's a balancing act. It's only really if... Oh dear. It's only really if it's like a high-leveled boss. Do you have anything really to fear? Anything lower than you in the food chain is basically padding onto your body. That's essentially what happens once digestion finishes on them. They stop struggling, and that brown bar represents how far along they have to kind of go. So yeah, and once it's done, you crouch down and, you know, depending on your settings, you relieve yourself in some way. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and I hope this helps out. If you have any issues at all, let me know by, I don't know, Discord, Patreon, YouTube, Twitter. I had someone once contact my business email, and that was pretty cool, but I kind of had to let them know it's only really for business, but I'm still happy to help. It's just not the primary way. So yeah, go forth and satiate your hunger, you hungry thing. Okay, I better go. Thanks for watching. Bye now.